How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be working on my generator, my Honda generator. I'm going to be doing a few mods to the generator to make it easier for me to use. And I'll show you what I'm going to do to better the machine. And my very first thing is I wanted a cover for the generator because we're going to be making some trips. And I want to make sure that my generator is protected from the weather. So the first thing I wanted was a cover. We got this really nice cover here. I bought it. It was extra. It didn't come with the generator. But a cover is very important. I mean, if you want your generator to last, you want to have some type of cover for it. So we got the cover for it. And there's a couple more things I'm going to give you a little close-up of some of the mods that I'm going to do to this today. And one of the mods is we're going to build a wheel kit for this thing. They want $169, maybe almost $200 for a wheel kit for this. But I think I could build a set of a wheel kit for almost nothing. So let me show you what I got to work with here. Now, besides the cover being the number one thing to keep the generator from getting soaking wet through the storms and stuff, is I wanted a magnetic dipstick. And all you have to do with a magnetic dipstick is just basically pull your old dipstick out and put your new dipstick in. And it's a metal dipstick. I'll show you the one that's in the machine. There's your dipstick. So you're just replacing it with the metal one, which has a magnet inside of here. And that way, if anything ever breaks loose inside the motor, like chips or anything, metal or anything, it'll stick to this instead of having it slosh around inside there and messing up your motor. So we got us a magnetic dipstick to put in here. And basically all I gotta do is screw it in. Okay, so we got our magnetic dipstick in there. That was an easy one there. We're going to throw our old dipstick back in this bag and hang it on the wall somewhere. That way, if anything ever happens to the other one, we'll have an extra dipstick. So, now this is our hour meter. And I just picked this up on online. I picked up actually a couple of them because I got one for the go-kart too. So we're going to be mounting that on, but we're going to be doing that a little bit later. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the wheel kit for this guy so we can get it out of the way. Alright, I'm going to start off. I want my wheels to be in the back here, and I want the front to be out that way. So I'm going to cut a piece of plate, and I want to make sure I want the plate to be as long as the machine, but just a little bit longer. So the wheels go over the side, but not too far. So I'm thinking maybe about 3/4 of an inch on each side. So I'm going to need a plate at least 19 inches from the inside of the two wheels. So we're going to need something to bolt the wheels to. So we're going to have to add a few more inches to that so they hang down so we can put our wheels on the sides. So this is just, I'm trying to make this wheel kit as simple as I possibly can without a whole big mess of stuff hanging off of my generator. So I'm going to go ahead and get some metal cut for this first. Okay, this piece of steel that we're using for the legs is actually a 2-inch by 1/4 inch thick piece of flat stock. I cut it 24 inches long. I marked 19 inches from the center to the wheels, and then 2.5 inches out. This is where we're going to bolt our wheel on. So I'm just going to heat this up with a torch, and we're going to bend this in a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side, and that's going to give us a place to mount our wheels. So we'll get it heated up Pretty much, I'm trying to do this. I mean, you're going to have a welder and some way of bending the metal. There's a little bit to it, but I think I could build this wheel kit pretty nice. Okay, so far, not too hard. We got our piece of 2-inch steel. We cut a piece 24 inches long, 2.5 inches down on each side. Got them bent at a 90-degree angle. So now what I need to do is I gotta get the wheels mounted on here, and there's 2 holes back in here. I don't know if you guys can see these. There's 2 bolts, and I don't want to drill no new holes. Right there's 1 bolt, and there's one on the other side in the same place over towards the end, and that's where I'm going to build my wheel kit to. So I'm going to have to get a measurement on them and get them holes drilled, so I'll be able to use the same holes that are already in the generator housing. That way I'm not drilling any new holes. We're just drilling the 2 holes that go in the bottom of the housing of the generator. Now for the wheels, all I did was take a couple bolts and cut them off, and I'm going to be sliding the bolts through the wheel, and then we'll put a washer on there, and then we'll put a small clip in there, and that'll be what holds the wheel on. So all we have to do is weld the nut to each side of this plate that we're going to use as our frame. So that's how I'm going to mount these on, just like so. And that'll give me, I'll be able to take the wheels off by just taking the little clip out. Maybe. So now what I got to do now is get these guys, these 2 things, 2 pins welded on the sides of here, and then we'll be ready to get this close to putting on the machine. But we have to put another piece on here. I'm basically setting this thing up like a dolly, so I can move it around. So okay, we have this part of our wheel kit built now. Our wheels are attached on there by the pins, a couple washers, and I think this is going to work out pretty good. So all I got to do now is there's going to be a plate that goes through the center of here that goes to the front and to the back, so I can hook a handle on this so we can move it around. So I haven't really figured it out yet, but we got this much done, so I'm sure we can get the rest of it here. We just got to figure it out. Okay, what I've done here is I went ahead and used the same bolt holes and mounted our plate on here with our wheels. Because I need to figure out the front, and then there's got to be a plate coming out here so we can put the handle on it to be able to move this guy around. So now what I need to do, I need to get this thing maneuvered around on this table without it falling off of here. And then get the front adjusted up to where I'm gonna need, I need a right height on the front of this so we can get that metal bent in the front to keep it flat, level. Okay, now that I got my generator half level, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a plate to come out and have a foot right here in the front. So it'll be a single plate coming straight out, and it'll have one little foot in the front to hold the generator level on the ground so it's not unlevel when it's running. And we're going to just build it out of the same stock that we used on the rear wheels. This 2-inch stock here. It's a 1/4 inch by 2 inch. So we're just going to build it out of it too. So we're going to go ahead and get a piece measured up and get it bent into shape. Okay, for that plate that's going to go across the front, I cut this 21 inches long. So right now, as it stands, we have 24 inches of this stock, and then we have 21 inches. This is 21 inches. I got 14 inches from here to here. I got about 5 inches here, and just this little plate here. This is what's going to rest on the ground, but I might end up welding something a little bit bigger on there to keep it from sinking into the dirt if there happen to be dirt. So what I got to do is I got to get this in this vise and get it bent. And I'm just bending this by eye. I don't have any special way that I'm bending this. I'm just doing it, and then I'm just bending it how I think it should be bent. And I'll just keep working at it until I get it the way I want it. Alright, I wanted to show you guys just how this thing's going to sit. And there's the plate that we bent. And I just did that by eye the best that I can. And you can see it's just going to go right back to the back. And it'll be welded onto the plate that goes to the wheels back here. Right here. It'll be welded on there. And then we'll be mounting our handle on this piece here. So we can grab it and move it around. So I'm going to go ahead and tack this, and then we're going to have to take it all back apart to get the rest of it together, get it all welded up good there. But I think it's setting pretty level. It's setting pretty decently level. Oh, it's got a nice little foot pad on the front there. Now I may change this. I might put something bigger, but by the looks of it, it's not that bad. I think it's going to be okay. Okay, we got that all welded together right here. Now I'm going to double this up, and I'm going to put another plate of this underneath, because this is the handle that I want to mount on the back of this, so I could use this as a dolly. So what we'll probably do is, once we get this plate on the bottom here welded on, we'll go ahead and weld this on, and then we'll make a gusset to go from here down to here, just to give this some more strength in here. That way when you're lifting that big generator up and down, it doesn't bend this plate of steel here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this tacked into place, this bottom piece here, and then we'll get to putting the handle on it, getting it painted up, and we'll have our wheel kit done. Okay, this is the pipe here that we had cut a while back on that Harbor Freight tubing notcher. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of pipe in here like so, and we're going to make the handle for the top of this thing so we can move this guy around. So basically that's what it's going to do, about like that right there. So I just got a piece of pipe here. I'm going to go ahead and clean this up on the wire brush and get it welded into this piece of pipe here, so we'll have our handle. Okay, I just stuck my handle up there with the machine on there and tacked that handle on there. So all I gotta do now is go ahead and finish welding the handle up, and then I'm gonna weld a small gusset in here. That's gonna give it more strength when you pull back on it to lift up that generator. Okay, we got this thing primered up. I went ahead and ground everything down, got all the sharp edges off of it and cleaned it up there. So now all I gotta do is put a coat of paint on it. We're going to let that set up there for a while, and then we'll come back and go ahead and get it mounted on. There's not a lot to this. It was basically trying to figure it out. The hardest thing on building something like this is just figuring out what way you want it built. But I think this thing's going to work out pretty good. So we'll find out here in a short while. Okay, our wheel kit is, it's dry enough. We can go ahead and start putting it together. It's not much to this. Now, when I priced these, they wanted about $169 for a wheel kit. So this is not a bad thing. I think I got about $6 in this, just in a couple little wheels. Not much to it. As you can see, it was pretty simple to build once you figure out what you're building. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to mount this thing all together and get it, see how it works with the generator on the top of it. I think it looks pretty cool, so let me get this out of the way here. Now on the bottom of this generator, it had some rubber bushings on there. Well, I'm still going to use those same rubber bushings on this when I put it together. And I got some 1/4-inch bolts that I'm using instead of the other ones. I needed something just a little bit longer. So I drilled some holes through these, and I'll show you up close how I put these on here. We're going to throw a washer on the top and bolt it down on. But I'm also going to put a little pin in it, because when this thing goes to vibrating, it may vibrate these bolts out because there's a rubber bushing between them. Now, the only two bolts that are actually holding it on the dolly are these two bolts right here. And they were already in the machine housing, so we didn't drill any new holes. Those were the original, but you can see I put a couple little pins in there just to make sure that when it's vibrating it doesn't come off. It won't allow the nut to come off of the bolt there. So basically this guy is looking pretty good right now. So let me show you something else here. Now what I did pick up in town is cost me a little bit. This is probably the most expensive part of this whole thing, which was a couple grips, handle grips. Now these are just bicycle handle grips, and I wanted to get these on here, hopefully. Ooh, they're going to be tight. So we're going to throw a couple bicycle handle grips on here to give us something to hold on to. just see if we can get these guys. Get down on there. I'm just spraying a little Windex inside there to get them to slide on that pipe a little easier. Ooh, they're tight. Really tight. So that gives us a couple nice little handle grips on there to hold on to when we move this guy around. So I think it's turning out pretty nice. So that don't look too bad. So I got to get it down off of that sawhorse and then see how it moves around. Okay, our wheel kit is finished, and I think this thing is going to work out just fine. We'll be able to move our small generator anywhere we want, and it just works as a dolly, same as a dolly. I think that's going to work out great. Now, I built this thing basically so I'm not drilling any new holes in the machine or in the housing or anything. But I also wanted to be able to put my cover back on this generator because, like I said, I want to try to keep it as good as I can when I'm out traveling. So we'll be able to still stretch our cover down on our machine and cover the whole thing and not have to worry about the handle being in the way of the cover. And as you can see, I think it turned out really well. And like I said, I think if you look up a wheel kit for this one right here, it's about $169. Basically, I think the handle grips, I had about $10 or $12 in these handle grips, and about $6 in a set of wheels, which I don't think is that expensive for a wheel kit. Now, eventually what I'll do is I'll pick up a new set of these wheels, because I would rather have metal wheels with ball bearings inside of them. So I will pick up a set of them, and they'll last a lot longer because they'll be heavier built. Just give you guys another little close-up look at the wheel kit that we had built. Not much to it, pretty easily done. A few pieces of metal, a little bit of grinding and welding, and you got a nice set of wheels on your generator. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed my wheel kit build here. I'd like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment if you'd like. Till next time.